Welcome to another ride on the mothership with the Saturday Night Wrestlmainacs. Ooh. You got the Nubian Sumo, the big guy KG. We are Sans People's Choice Don Rodriguez. But we here. Huh? Sumo.
Sir.
We got some things to get into, man. Let's dive right into it. But first and foremost, how you feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Survived 8 hours of wrestling today. So, I guess I'm doing all right. I can't, can't complain. This is what we want, right? We want wrestling as much as possible. I didn't know we was gonna get it all in one show, but we'll have to. It is what it is. Got to take it as you get it.
Yes, sir. Now, we had All In tonight. We had Saturday Night Main Event. You watched All In. I watched bits and pieces, and I caught Saturday Night Main Event. So let's start with All In, which was earlier in the day. That down to how good was that? Was it good enough? Was it okay?
Before we get started, do we know anything about the Great American Bash?
Oh shit!
Because we didn't. Because the Great American Bash was on the same time as All In.
You know what? I forgot that was the day. I saw Perry say something about it, and I forgot all about it.
Okay, well, I guess we have to go back and watch Great American Bash, which I had planned on anyway. My whole day was surrounded by AEW today, so I wasn't really worried because especially with the probably the main event. Can't even guarantee that was the main event, being Obafemi going up against Yoshiki Inamura. So being that so I don't know. I wasn't really interested in that match. I know Ethan Page was supposed to go against Ricky Saints, I believe, in a last man standing match. And I'm not sure as to what the women's matches were because a lot of those are going to happen tomorrow. So, it was, I wasn't really trying to figure out what was going on with that one, but, we'll just have to see what happens with that. But we can go ahead and get started with the All In review.
First, all right, I had to switch over on some devices here because I'm having all kinds of technical issues and the lag is real. I don't know what in the world's going on. I was good up until we got started, so I had to switch over devices.
That's kind of why I went into the NXT because I knew that, and I kind of figured you were doing something. So, see,
my man,
I'm on top of it. See,
I love it. I love it.
I'm on it. So, I got you. All right. So, first match on the All In card for the pre-show was Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, and the Von Erich brothers with Kevin Von Erich in their corner, who, if you don't know, just signed a Legends contract with AEW.
I love it.
Against Carly Bravo and Sean Dean of the Infantry, Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty, and they make up the Shane Taylor Promotions. Was a pretty good match, especially with Dustin and Sammy coming off of their match last night on the Supercard of Honor show, Ring of Honor show, defending their titles against the Infantry, Carly Bravo and Sean Dean. So that was a pretty good match for them. The good guys won. Dustin Sammy, or they call themselves the Sons of Texas. Sammy Guevara and Dusty Rhodes calls themselves the Sons of Texas, but along with Ross and Marshall, since they're from Texas also, I guess they're included. So there you go. Second match on the card was the Don Callis family, Lance Archer, Hechicero, Trent Beretta, and Rocky Romero going up against a team of Hologram, Tomohiro Ishii, Kyle O'Reilly, and Big Boom AJ. And that's the Costco cookie guy and his two kids. Of course, that would have been a bathroom break for me because I don't understand why they're giving this Big Boom AJ guy all this recognition or all this whatever, but it is what it is. I mean, you got his kid doing a promo, doing a cameo on the booking.com commercial. I mean, I don't know where to get all this work from, but oh well. Now, during that promo, during that match, I should say, they did state that Adam Cole was injured and was not medically cleared, which will be brought up later on in this pay-per-view. So we'll get back to that in a moment. But you did have the conglomeration and Big Boom AJ who defeated the Don Callis family. Next match up was FTR going up against the Outrunners, of which FTR wound up winning that match. And then the big match for the pre-show was the AEW World Trios Championship match with the Ops, Will Hobbs, Samoa Joe, and Katsuyori Shibata going up against the Death Riders group of Claudio Castagnoli, Gabe Kidd, and what's that dude's name? Well, I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. Wheeler Yuta. And the Ops wound up winning the match, even though at the end of the match, Claudio Castagnoli wrapped a chair. They knocked out or put out Samoa Joe, wrapped a chair around his head and stomped the chair. Castagnoli did. So they wound up taking him out Samoa Joe out on the stretcher. So they kept saying that they were going to give you reports on him over the course of the show, but they wound up putting him on a stretcher and taking him out, sending him to a medical facility. So then it was announced that Adam Cole would vacate the TNT title after suffering some type of injury and not being medically cleared. So they decided to have a 4-way match that would be booked to crown a new champion. And that would lead into the first match. That announcement would lead into the first match of the main card, which was MJF and Mark Briscoe being the first two to start the Casino Gauntlet match for the number one contendership to the world title. They started the match. You had Mark Briscoe, who was going to promise to whoop MJF's ass for talking stuff about his brother on Wednesday night. So then, after a while, you had the next person come in. Now, to explain, because it might be some confusion as to what goes on with this Casino Gauntlet match, because it's not your regular battle royal. The Casino Gauntlet match actually can end at any time. So if Mark Briscoe had pinned MJF before anybody else had gotten to the match, he would have won the match. So there is no real number. There's a number that could go up to, but anybody that pins or submits or whatever the case may be can end the match at any time. So the next person to come in was Ricochet. Ricochet came in as the third person and got together with MJF, and they started working on Mark. And then Bandito came in afterwards. Bandito joined in, and after that, you had Konosuke Takeshita, and those two had just had the main event for Supercard of Honor the night before, where Bandito retained his title, which was a very good match. So I would suggest you all go back and watch Supercard of Honor for Ring of Honor, because it was a very good show. It was a very, very good show. A lot going on in it, I'm not going to go into. It's enough going on here, though. I'm not going to go into what happened with Supercard of Honor, but I will let you know who was in it as we go along. So, like I said, Takeshita came in. Once Takeshita came in, Mystico showed up, which was I don't know why they did this. Okay, so when Mystico came out during the Border Wars, he was in Mexico, and they tried to do him like Jericho. They gave everybody in the audience was singing his song, and this was the long drawn out intro and whatnot. So, being that he was in Texas, they figured they could do the same thing. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. You had all these folks, they figured that they would give them, play the song out for them during this intro, and everybody would be singing along and everything like they did in Mexico. It didn't happen. So it just was awkward, and you got Mystico trying to, do the Hulk Hogan thing and, trying to get them to sing along, but nobody there knew his music. It was awkward. So they wound up getting together and doing the thing, and so the match went on, and afterwards you had Josh Alexander who came in, Anthony Bowen showed up, Roderick Strong, Brody King. You had a return of Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson came back after being injured for a good while. And he came back. He's bulked up and he's clean faced. He looks like he did. He pretty much looks like he did back when he was in NXT as CJ Walker in that gimmick. But he's much bigger than he was. That he's bulked up a little bit since he's been gone. So it was good to see him come back. Then you had Kota Ibushi come in, Luis Mortos, and Max Caster, who rounded out, who pretty much was the last one to come in. And you also had run-ins. You had run-ins from the Guns. The Guns showed up, and you had run-ins who came back, and it was a surprise for them to come back because they had been rumored to be going to WWE. They've been since they've been out so long, but it's good to see them come back. So you might be seeing the Bang Bang Gang come back, the Gun Club, with Jay White. So we could probably see them or just see those three in like a trio situation. That'd be good to see them back. And the Gates of Agony came in to try to help out Ricochet, because Ricochet is now teamed up with them, because they're going to probably have a three-man faction going on between the three of them. So, but all in all, the winner of the gauntlet match is MJF. He wound up winning the Casino Gauntlet, and he does have the contract to have a future shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. So then it goes. So now we're going into the TNT Championship. They called it was a 4-way match. The person who was supposed to be in it, Kyle Fletcher, was still in it. And you also had the addition of Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara, and Dustin Rhodes. So you got Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes in 3 matches in 24 hours. They just had a match during the pre-show. They had a match last night at Supercard of Honor. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Match went pretty well. You had a lot of double teaming with Sammy and Dustin, of course. Daniel Garcia got his work in, did his thing. Kyle Fletcher looking good as usual. You did have a slight mishap of some friendly fire with Sammy Guevara hitting a drop kick in the corner on Dustin Rhodes. But they wound up working that out and going on with the match. But your new TNT champion, the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Now hold on. Let me interject real quick here. I thought he retired. I thought he retired. I thought he hung him up for good. He said he was done. Like last year, he said that was his last match. He was done.
Man, sir, he signed a 6-year extension last year. At the end of his contract last year. So between the in-ring work, production, coaching, and being an agent in the back, he will go into his sixth decade. He'll be in wrestling at the end of his contract. He will have been in wrestling 6 decades.
Good grief.
His first match was 1989. Is his first match? Is wait a minute? Excuse me. I'm sorry. His first match was 1988.
In WCW, right?
No. Well, yes. In
or NWA.
But he was wrestling before that, because I've told the story on this podcast before. I actually played in a football game in high school against Dustin Rhodes. I played for Richmond Senior High School in Rockingham, North Carolina. He played for West Mecklenburg High School in Charlotte. We played in a football game in 87, which would have been his senior year and my junior year. And he then was the Carolina Championship Wrestling junior heavyweight champion, which was a small independent in Concord, North Carolina. So he was a champion then during that game. But his first professional, as far as major, was with WCW back in 88. So, yeah. From 88 to now, 5 decades. Five decades, and he'll go into 6. If he ends this contract now, the contract will end in 31. So he will have 6 decades.
6 decades. I think I do remember, and saying we are live. We are live in living color and direct. I do remember him, NWA/WCW. I do remember him coming out. And I remember him from shoot. I had to be about 7, 8 years old. I remember when first time seeing him, and everybody say, well, when you're looking at his career, everybody say, well, he got saddled with that bum gimmick of gold dust. I'm like, no, you thought it was a bum gimmick, but gold dust lasted 25 years, and he made hella money off of it. Hella merchandise, and was exciting to watch.
Yeah. He's still getting. You still talking about Goldberg? I mean, not Goldberg, but Goldust. You
But we'll
still
talk
talking
about
about
Goldberg
Goldust?
later.
Yeah, we talk about
Yes.
Goldberg later. But yeah, you still talking about people are still talking about Goldust and those matches that he had. You know, you don't hear too many people talking about the natural Dustin Rhodes or
Nope.
in his early years or all the bad gimmicks that he did end up having, like Seven and Black Rain and
Man.
all those Undertaker all those Gold Dust offshoots that he had when he wound up leaving WWE. So yeah, it is what it is. He got to the point where he got into a position where he's now in a good place. I mean, the man got 3 titles right now. He's got the TNT Championship. He's got the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship, and he's got the Ring of Honor 6-man titles with the Von Erichs.
And you can't be mad at that. And
Not
that
at
was
all.
another thing that you mentioned on the pre-show that I wanted to say something about. But we had a little commotion outside of the window with the police, and I couldn't really get on the mic and say anything because then you would have heard all of that. But seeing Kevin Von Erich in Texas tonight, I did catch that. I caught that on Instagram. I was trying to find some AEW stuff on Instagram to peek in on. I caught that. And I couldn't see who he gave it to. He gave somebody the claw in Texas. My goodness. My goodness. When I tell you I was absolutely floored, but it was so good to see. That right there is so good to see.
Oh, and don't forget. I don't know if you notice or not, but there's their nephews, their Rhodes nephews. Have you heard about these guys?
No.
Yes, Wayne and Wyatt Rhodes. They are the sons of Dusty's daughter. What's her name? Kristen, which is Dustin's sister, same mother, but sister to Cody as well. You know, but but yeah, her sons, which is their nephews, are now training under Dustin's wrestling school, and have already had a dark match in AEW where they've already debuted. Now they did show up after the match was over. At the end of the match, they were in the ring to help celebrate with Dustin. So if you want to get a look at them, you can go back and look at it. But take a look at it. But yeah, you'll be looking for them to come around here soon as well.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, that'll make them third generation.
Let's see, Dusty, and then Dustin, which they would be able to claim their uncles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so they'd be third generation. Yeah.
Man. Now, it was crazy as you say that, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm like, you talk about second and third generation, man. We starting to tiptoe in the fourth and fifth generation wrestlers, and it makes me feel proud because I'm like, well, I watched the first and the second generation wrestle. Now we to third and fourth, man. I'm like, yeah, this is great. So I hope they're great coming in. I mean, they got a great bloodline them, so I hope they're just awesome.
Well, I mean, you already, like you said, you already got some third and fourth generations we looking at already because Tessa Blanchard is a third generation. David Finley over in Japan, he's fourth generation. You got some of those Anuahes that are fourth and fifth. I think is Zilla fourth generation? I'm trying to figure out.
I gotta look that up.
I'm trying to figure out if Zilla or I know a Journey would be third because that's the youngest brother of the Usos, so they would be third generation. Oh, you got 40 or fourth. Wait a minute. You got Chief. Okay, so the Usos father is Rikishi. Rikishi's father, or Rikishi is related through the same grandmother as The Rock, right?
I'm looking at it now. Mom and dad.
It'd be like Rock's mom.
No, they got because the way they got it on Wikipedia, they got the Rock's family. They got the High Chief and Leah Maivia. They got them on one side, and then they got everybody else on the other because
So let's do it this way. Okay, so The Rock is third generation,
right?
Because Peter Maivia, then Rocky Johnson and his mother, and then him.
Yep.
Okay. So then that would make Ava fourth generation.
Yes, she's fourth generation. Then you got a fifth generation in Lance and Hawaii.
Lance is fifth. Okay.
Yep,
okay.
He's fifth.
Okay, so Lance. Okay, Lance is the former tag team partner of Jacob Fatu in MLW. They were the new Samoan SWAT team, along with Juicy for now. So he is actually up. He's actually one of the guys that's up to come into the WWE. It was him, Hikuleo, and Zilla that were up to come. That were ready to move up. I haven't heard about Lance wrestling lately, even though he probably is. He's probably like in Puerto Rico somewhere. But Lance has been in the Performance Center working out along with Zilla.
Man, because that's Samu's son.
Yeah, or the Tonga kid, right?
Like just looking at the family tree. I mean, you go back, and it's a lot. It's a lot, man. That's just a bit. That's I'll say the Anoa'i family, the Harts, and the Von Erichs are probably some of the deepest families in wrestling.
Well, I don't know because I don't know if Kerry had any kids. David didn't have kids. The other two were too young to have kids when they passed. So Kevin is the only one that's really got kids out of those five.
They got 3 generations.
Right. They got their father, the 5 sons,
and
then the 2 under Kevin.
And you got the Ross, Marshall, then don't forget Lacey.
Lacey was okay. Let's straighten that out too. Lacey was not related.
Are you serious?
Lacey was not related. There are two Von Erichs that were introduced into the family, but were actually not related. Lacey, and then I forget what the other guy's name was, but they wound up. I want to say his name was Lance Von Erich. But they wound up introducing Lance because Mike had died, and they were trying to bring in another Von Erich to try to keep the family going. To kind of try to bring everybody, because everybody was like, they were coming off of the high of the Von Erichs, because they were being too sympathetic to them to actually really get into them like they used to be. So they brought in Lance and had him wrestle. He even wrestled barefoot, trying to work the gimmick. But then after a while, he wasn't really working out, and Fritz came out and actually admitted that he wasn't a member of the family. Now, Lacey has come out and actually said that she was never a member of the family.
Wow. And all this time, I thought that was Carrie's daughter. I mean, Kevin's daughter.
That was not Carrie. She was put out as Carrie's daughter, but she was never Carrie's daughter.
Wow.
That was kayfabe.
Wow. I didn't come here to have my whole childhood ruined. Even though that wasn't my childhood, that was early adulthood. But I didn't come here to have it ruined.
Well, sorry. Sorry, I bust that bubble, and I busted your Sergeant Slaughter bubble too. So sorry about that.
Hey man, this is what we do it for. We do it for the love of the game, and this is. I can't knock this, man. Now speaking of the Von Erichs, I know we gonna jump off subject, but I wanted to ask this question because I don't remember if you answered. Did you ever watch Iron Claw?
I did watch Iron Claw.
Did you enjoy it?
I did, only because I had to look at it as if I didn't know anything about the story.
Oh boy.
Because that it was not historically accurate.
And yeah, and that's why
there was a lot of creative license done attached to that movie.
That's why I got to go back and watch it again because, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's not how that happened.
And then they left out one of the kids.
Yeah, they took one kid and combined two stories with one kid.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah, that's not right.
So yeah, I mean, you had to go into it. I had to go into it with more than a grain of salt.
All right, just wanted to ask you that. What else we had on All In? Because I'm sorry I had to stop you with that, but I when I saw the natural Dustin Rhodes win the TNT title, I just swore him down. I was like, didn't he walk away? Didn't he retire? But I was wrong. So I mean, 6-year contract. Who else got 6 decades in the game? Well, Ric Flair should be working on 7 decades active.
I don't know. Let's see. Moolah, before she died, maybe. Mae Young, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Could we say Bruno? Maybe.
Yeah.
Backlund. Backlund wrestled into the 90s, didn't he?
Yep. Because I remember he turned heel, and I just watched the video when he turned heel and put Bret Hart in a crossface chicken wing.
So but Backlund might have 4. I don't know if he had 5, but he had at least had 4. It's not too many in this age now. that you could say has going on 5 decades. Because it's not actually 5 decades as far as cumulative years. You have to, if you count it up, it's only like maybe 30 something. Because I did the math on Dustin. So from 88 to now would be what? Like less than 40 years.
Yeah, because he's at 37 right now.
But it covers 5 different decades. End of 88 and beginning of now, and then all the ones in between.
Mm. See, this is why we do this. This is why we do this. That historian. And Sam said, this is upper echelon prime time sumo dropping knowledge. That's absolutely right, Sam. Absolutely right. All right, finishing up All In.
So going back before the actual match started, they had Adam Cole come out, and Adam Cole gave his speech and was like, "Yeah, I'm hurt. I'm not medically cleared. I'm hurt. I know I just came off of a long tenure with an injury already, but I need to go ahead and do what I need to do to get back now. It's not that I'm talking about retirement. He did mention retirement. I mean, like I said, he did go through. He just went through this here like a year ago. It just got back really not too long ago. So in trying to get himself back together, he said he's not saying that he's going to retire. He doesn't want to start talking about retirement, but he can't, he can't rule it out. So he's going to be dealing with that. And he wound up giving up the title, and they wound up having the match. And like I said, now Dustin Rhodes is your new TNT champion. So now we go into the next match. And I'm having to switch my tablets here because one of them about to run out of battery. Forgive me for a second. So the next match on the card was Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks, with a stipulation that if the Young Bucks wound up losing this match, they would give up their EVP powers. But if Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland wound up losing, they would give up. They would not be able to challenge for the World Championship for a calendar year. Now, this match was a pretty decent match. I mean, every spot that they could hit, they hit. In the words of Brian Cage, they got all this shit in, plus some. I mean, when's the last time you seen the Young Bucks hit more bang for your buck?
It's been quite some time, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. That's not that used to be a finisher for them, and they stopped using it. So I mean, they actually pulled it out tonight. But what got me now, you had a few entrances that were kind of special tonight. And Will Ospreay was one. He had his interest that was associated with the Assassin's Creed contract that he has going, the association that he has. So, they had some guys martial arts guys come out and do a whole bunch of flips and swords and all that. It was real corny. They could have. They it looked like they got somebody from the local dojo down the street, and stuck them in there. You know, it wasn't really that impressive. But on Swerve Strickland's entrance, the lights went out, and on the stage, in a solo spotlight, you had JoJo Offerman. For those who don't know who JoJo Offerman is, this is the wife of Bray Wyatt. And she came out and sang. Can't nobody love me better. Makes me happy. Makes me feel this way. The reason she sang that is because that was the original music that Swerve Strickland used to come out to for his entrances before he left the Indies to go to Lucha Underground. It was a throwback.
See that right there?
And those that know, that were popping. And you could tell in the crowd, it wasn't a lot of them, but those that knew and popped for it. I had one of these coming right down here because I've been looking for that. I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that since his title run, his world title run. I was like, look, if Tony Khan can come out with this music for Orange Cassidy and he can pay for the Cult of Personality for CM Punk, and he can pay for all this music for everybody else, he can drop a dime to Chaka Khan, play her music, or even better, to have her there singing it for herself.
Yeah.
But he saved it. This was a big show. This was a significant match. And he saved it for this particular moment. And he included Bray Wyatt's wife to sing the song for him, which was a double whammy.
That right there was absolutely wonderful. Number one. Number two,
it was. And for it to just happen and not nobody know about it, you know what I'm saying? You know, kayfabe and everything not being revealed beforehand. Oh yeah. I was like, I was over here popping. I was bugging. I was like, yes, I've been waiting for this for 2 years.
I wish that WWE would show JoJo the same love that AEW shows her, because of how special not only what she was to the company, because she had fans in WWE as well, but how special Bray was to the company. So, you know, that's just one of the things that I thought. But seeing that, man, I was like, yeah, let's go. I did catch that. I caught that on social media too. I caught that on AEW's page. That right there was like that.
And then the Young Bucks came out and they had an entrance where they came out and, you know, they had the pyro and they did the thing and all this and that, but then they went off to the side. And they were like, where they going? What happened? Where'd they go? They had this boat. It was kind of like Washington crossing the Potomac, crossing the river, and they had it on a cherry picker, and it was sitting up on the top of a cherry picker, and they were going across the back of the arena, and they had this speech, this letter that was written kind of like they would have written the Declaration of Independence or the Emancipation Proclamation. You know, it was in that kind of wording that they had the announcer read off to the crowd. And so, you know, and they dressed in the founding fathers gear where it looked like, you know, they looked like Jefferson or or Benjamin Franklin or something like that. You know, kind of like that that red coat type of gear, jackets and whatnot, British type stuff. And so they came out and they had a match, and it was something else. Like I said, they got all this shit in. Everything that you could have thought of that they would have put out, you know, doing each other's finishes and all this, the whole thing. But it was great. It was nice. It was good. And your winners, Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. So the Young Bucks are no longer in power. We're gonna have to see what happens with the Young Bucks now, and what they're gonna do with them, and see how it goes with Ospreay and Swerve. Are they gonna form a tag team now? Are they gonna go their separate ways and try to go after the world title separately, or what's gonna happen? We're just gonna have to see. Let's see. Next up was the women's casino gauntlet match, where the match started with Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne as 1 and 2. Number 3 came in, Willow Nightingale. Now, you know, Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander got this thing going on. You know, they were best friends. Now they're not, you know, because of all the stuff Statlander did to Willow and whatnot, you know. So that turned into something. Then after that, Tymello, who's still on her return from having her baby with Sammy Guevara. So she's only been back a couple of weeks, but you know, she's reformed a tag team with Anna Jay, and now she's pretty much won 2 or 3 matches since her return. So she comes in as part of the Casino Battle Royal. And in the midst of everything going on, you had Harley Cameron who showed up. Now, Harley Cameron has been out because Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford broke her nose in the middle of a match that they had a few weeks ago. So she came out in the usual nose guard that everybody wears, you know, like the basketball players have had on, you know, but it was pink and it was bedazzled. And, you know, she kind of helped out with Tymello and whatnot with Penelope Ford was about to jump off of the top rope onto Tymello, and Harley Cameron pushed her off. So she got that interference in. She got that run in. Then you had Tekla. For those who don't know who Tekla is, she's one of the newer additions to the AEW women's roster. She's from Austria. She was with she wasn't with Stardom. She was with she was with Stardom. I'm sorry. She was with Stardom, and she wound up getting fired because she put her hands on the president of Stardom. And so she wound up getting fired, and then that brought her to AEW.
Wait. Was that kayfabe, or she really put her hands on?
She actually put her hands on.
Oh, okay. Because when you said that, I was like, "Oh, that's K." Wait, that's why I had to ask: was it kayfabe or not?
No, it actually made the news. That was actually for real. They wound up firing her from Stardom, and ran her out of Japan. And she ended up in AEW. Now you had said they call her the Toxic Spider, and she's something else. she's kind of like a mix between Asuka and when I'm talking about her style, not her look, but kind of like a mix between Asuka and Tajiri.
That's a pretty deadly combination right
She's
there.
a small girl. She's a small girl. She's probably about 5'2", 5'3", and she's probably about 90 to 100 pounds with a brick in her pocket. But you know, she a little girl, but she gets around and she owns, and you know, she does like the gimmick that Bray used to do, where she used to go bend over backwards and do the backwards crab walk.
Mm-hmm.
She does that, and she does the spider suplex off of the top rope, where she sits on the top rope and hooks her legs and brings them over brings a suplex over on the top rope from the top rope, and does the tarantula, where she hangs upside down and she got a headlock with the legs, and she holds onto the legs with her arms, and you know, she on the ropes, and then she flips back over to that type. You know, they call her the Toxic Spider. Is her nickname. So she's interesting to watch. So if you want to check out AEW, to check her out, you know, it wouldn't be a bad thing to do. So you had Tekla, Julia Hart with Sky Blue come out. And Sky Blue had, even though she wasn't in the match, she became a big part of the match. Queen Aminata, Mina Shirakawa, who the night before won the interim Ring of Honor television championship for the women, because Red Velvet wound up getting hurt and she couldn't defend her title. So rather than taking the belt from her, they just had an interim championship. And they had a 4-way for that on the Supercard of Honor show. So Mira Shirakawa wound up winning that belt. And then you also had Athena come through. She came out next, along with Thunder Rosa, which both of them had a match, the semifinal match at Supercard of Honor, where Athena wound up defending and retaining her belt, her Women's World Championship, against Thunder Rosa. And then you had 2 debuts. You had the debut of Suri being someone who a wrestler from Tokyo Joshi Pro, who decided that she was going to go off on an excursion and try to see what else was out there outside of Japanese wrestling. So she came to AEW. So she's going to be wrestling for AEW and for Ring of Honor. And also Alex Windsor, who is a British wrestler, who is also the fiance of Will Ospreay. So she made her debut tonight. So that was everybody. So that was everybody that showed up. The match went a lot longer after Windsor came in. So I guess that was everybody that they wanted to have in it. And the winner of the gauntlet is Athena. So Athena has a title match coming against whoever the winner of the World Championship is, coming up whenever she feels like she wants to cash in. Now, next matchup on the card was the 3-way match for the tag team championships. Champions, the Hurt Syndicate, going up against Jet Speed, which is Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Jet Kevin Knight, and the Patriarchy, which is Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. Now, they've been on last Wednesday night, between the two of them and some other folks, they wound up mollywhopping the Hurt Syndicate. They actually put down the Hurt Syndicate. Now to make everything think it was gonna be like it wasn't gonna be a squash match, right? But you ended up having the Hurt Syndicate winning this match. It was a good match. It wound up being a pretty decent match. FTR wound up getting involved in it at some point because they were sitting at the commentary booth the whole time. They wound up getting involved in the match, but that didn't stop them from winning. At the end of the match, you had Nick Wayne turn on Christian Cage. Hit him with an unprettier. And then you had Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne's mother, who wound up getting their licks in. And then who comes out to save Christian? Adam Copeland makes a return.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I couldn't get off the mute button fast enough. Good grief. I was trying.
Adam Copeland makes his return. He brings out his buddy Spike, which is the Spike 2x4 that he has that he got from Mick Foley back in the day. He brought that out with him, and he cleared house. He helps Christian back up on his feet, shakes his hand, gets him in close, looks at him, and says, "Go find yourself," and walks off. Now, for those that don't remember, when Madam Copeland came back his second time from being hurt, and Christian Cage came in to kind of give him a save, Christian Cage told him to go fuck himself. So that was a play off of that, So now it's looking like, Christian's about to be out here on his own. What used to be the patriarchy is getting ready to come after him, and Adam Copeland is looking to help him. So you might be seeing Edge and Christian coming back together again before everything is over with Mr. Copeland.
But I thought they said they wasn't never going to do that again.
Well, and hey, in the words of every wrestler that's been in the business, never say never.
True indeed. So if that's the case, you think Edge can go? I mean, Christian can go ahead and petition and try to buy his theme music from when he went solo in WWE. Christian, at last, you're on your own.
Hey, he could, because this that TNA music is getting kind of old, so we can. It can happen. You never know.
Oh, he got a couple of WWE songs that would go great. I mean, that one, Blood Brothers is always off of WWE the volume of the music, volume 4, which was what 99. That Blood Brother was supposed to be his solo thing, but he never went solo then. So he got a couple of things he can use, but he's gonna have to pay some money to get them. But if he's gonna have a singles run, man, it gotta be good.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll see what happens. I'm sure he'll be probably switching up his gimmick a little bit. Now that he's about to go face, so we'll see what happens. Next match up, going into the main events here. Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's World Championship. And you had Mercedes Moné coming out with the Texas Ranger cheerleading squad. Yes, apparently there's some baseball teams that have cheerleaders. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, but the Texas Rangers have a cheerleading squad, and they were there to help Mercedes Moné with her long coat, with the long train, and the train had all the names of all of the wrestlers that she has defeated since she got to AEW. So there's that. And then Toni Storm, being Toni Storm, had her extra interest, came in with her extra interest, but which is pretty decent for her, It's pretty much more of the same, but it was pretty good. They go in and they have their match, they go a good half hour. And it's a really good match. They had some use of the what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. The butler. Anyway, she wound up getting rid of Mercedes wound up getting rid of him about maybe 10 minutes into the match. So he didn't really have much of a much to do with the match at all. But a lot of people are saying, from what I've been reading, that this was match of the night, and it could have been. This was a pretty good match. This probably was the best match of the night. Especially being that there was one spot where they were going after pile drivers, and Toni Storm got her in a position for a tombstone, and instead of just going ahead and dropping her on her head, Toni Storm dropped her own head.
And shook it vigorously.
Yeah, with the motorboat.
I was like, I know I can't be the only one saying this.
And there's a clip on YouTube if you want to see it. So if you want to see it, it's out there. But the winner of your match is and still AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm, giving Mercedes Moné her first loss since she entered AEW. And we're going to have to see where this goes, because usually when somebody loses a match like that and they got a bunch of belts like she does, the trickle down starts. So we'll have to see what happens with the TBS championship and the Rev Pro championship and the Australian championship that she's gotten, and we'll just have to see. But, okay, so next match up is for the newly minted Unified Championship, which is the combination of the Continental belt and the International belt. Continental champion Kazuchika Okada versus international champion Kenny Omega. Now, this match was, being that I've seen every Okada Omega match, I wasn't expecting too much out of this match, because it's been 7 years since they had a match together, and neither one of these guys are the same person that they were 7 years ago, especially with Kenny Omega coming off of his diverticulitis situation. and Okada not being used in the way that he should be used or had been used in Japan. So I wasn't expecting a lot from this match, but it gave me a little more than I thought I was going to get. It's not one of them 5 or 6 star bangers, but it's probably a 4, a good 4, maybe 4.25. They got everything in. A lot was going on. The storytelling was there. Omega came out on his entrance with his usual extras, whatever. You know, I don't know where I don't know where he gets his inspiration from his I know it's mostly from video games, and you got to be really deep into video games to know his inspiration for these entrances and his ring gear and stuff like that. Okada just came out, you know, regular. You know, he did switch up. He wore all black, which is a little he hasn't done in a while. And the coat the ring coat that he wore was very different from anything that he's ever had, which was a nice little change of pace. Because usually he would change his ring gear like every year. Even though he would keep it through the whole year, unless it's something special, he would change every year. And he hadn't done too much changing of his ring gear since he got there. So this is a nice change for him, in my opinion. But it was a good match. It was a great match. Like I said, about 4.25 if I were Meltzer. We'll see what Mr. Meltzer decides on this. But your winner was Okada. He wound up getting his Rainmaker finish in. And he is now the new Continental or the new Unified Champion. Now, what they're going to do with this belt, I'm not sure. Because it's a lot of stuff going on with it. I mean, you got the Continental Championship, which is supposed to be defended every year with this tournament that they put together. But now that you've got it combined with this belt, this unified belt, are they still going to do the tournament? They were talking about maybe having him hold all 3 belts at the same time, carry all 3 belts. So that way it would make sense when it came time for him to defend the Continental belt during the tournament, that he could give the belt up. So are they going? So I don't know how they're going to do. They didn't really think this through, in my opinion. But we're going to have to see what happens and see what they do with it. As far as the tournament is concerned, as far as the actual title itself, how they're going to, if they're going to be stipulations or how they're going to go about doing anything special to defend it. Are we going to see the other 2 belts again? We'll just have to see. We have to check. We have to figure it out. So you did have Jim Ross show up for this match. So he wasn't there during the rest of the show, but the first part of the show, but he came in for this one and for the next match, which was the main event for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Jon Moxley, champion, versus Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page. Adam Page comes out to his old music. He gets his old music back, and he's a baby face again. And he's wearing his babyface gear now. He's back to where he was wearing about 2 years ago. The frills on the legs, and the jacket, going to come out looking like Woody from Toy Story. So
I had a joke, but I'm gonna leave it there.
So Moxley comes out. He's got the whole crew. They could have a truck that comes through the back into the arena, and he comes out the back of the truck, and he comes out with Marina Shafir, and they come out together, and all this and that. And so then they start the match. It's a Texas death match. So you can imagine what's going on with this. You can imagine what happens. In the words of Jim Cornette, and I love it when he says it, so I'm gonna steal it from him tonight. There's a Texas death match. No disqualification. Lazy booking. So they it's just a regular match for like the first 5 minutes. That Texas death match, it's pretty much a hardcore match combined with a last man standing match. So, it's only pinfalls don't count. So it's only submission or knockout that wins the match. So first 5 minutes of the match, they wrestling, they doing everything, whatever, they get a chair involved or whatever. But then all of a sudden the forks come out. Both of them got forks. Moxley gets put in a triangle choke. And Adam Page just starts hard way. Busted open like a sieve. But then, okay, Moxley's like, okay, that's the way we want to play. Okay. So Hangman goes and gets some barbed wire, wraps it around his hand and whatnot, about to do something with that. Moxley takes it from him. He's like, okay, let me just put this across your forehead and start doing one of these things here. Gets him open hard way. So now they're going back and forth, bleeding on each other. They eventually pull out some glass. Marina Shafir goes up under the ring and pulls out this bucket. And it's got busted glass in it, but it's not all busted. You still got the like bottlenecks. So it's whole enough to where he can pour it out and you can see it, and he can just stomp down on it and break it up a little bit, while he's doing it, give it for effect. And so they end up having glass all over the place. And so, they pull out tables and barbed wire tables, and they got chairs wrapped in barbed wire and all this and that. And they just killing each other. So you wind up having Wheeler Yuta get involved. He's the first one to come in, get involved. Wound up getting rid of him. Marina Shafir has been getting involved pretty much the whole match, but not as much as it's about to start now. So then after that, you got Claudio Castagnoli comes in. He starts getting into the match. So after a while, after things they start jumping on, the three of them start jumping on Adam Page. You all of a sudden have Will Ospreay come through. Will Ospreay comes out with a chair, and he gets involved. He gets involved in the match. Then all of a sudden you got Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd shows up. So now you got pretty much all of the Death Riders show up. And in the ring, everything's going on, and all of a sudden, this person in this all black comes in and hits Wheeler Yuta with a Busaiku knee. Bryan Danielson. He comes in. He comes in, Busaiku knees, kicks, yes kicks to everybody. He goes outside and he's the tope con hilo and the whole thing, and kicking folks outside and doing the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, up on the screen, you got this scenery, this panoramic view of clouds, and it moves over, and it's Darby Allin talking about, I'm up here now, but I won't be here long. And and he's got a full beard and the whole thing, right? And it goes off. Then all of a sudden, from the rafters, like he was Sting, here comes Darby Allin. Drops right on the apron in front of Moxley. He gets in, gets his licks in, hits a coffin drop on Castagnoli and the others. He goes in. He is taken out with Brian Danielson, and they get rid of everybody. So then the match starts back up again. Moxley tells Shafir, go get the briefcase. I want the briefcase. Give me the key. So she takes the key from around her neck, gives him the key. She goes get the briefcase. So when she grabs the briefcase from the ring announcer's table, from under the ring announcer's table, she lifts up and she's handcuffed to the table, trying to figure out how it happened. Prince Nana comes out from under the table. He done handcuffed to the table. So he goes out. He's trying to help Marina Shafir. Swerve comes out with this long chain. Now, the Saturday night, they showed a video from the end of that happened after Dynamite Wednesday night, where Hangman went into Swerve's dressing room and they started talking about how they regretted doing everything to each other. You know, they kind of like, you know, if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have done it. You know, both of them saying the same thing to each other pretty much. You know, and then he was like, well, Hangman was like, I got my family coming. You know, my kids are still scared, waking up in the middle of the night scared because they think they see you in their room in the middle of the night. And he's like, and Swerve was like, okay, well, I'll make sure I stay away from your family then. No problem. And when Hangman leaves, he leaves a long chain on the floor. Swerve picks it up and starts looking at it like, you know. And then fast forward back to the match, he's got this chain. He's already said that he would never help Hangman in any way, shape, or form to win the world championship. And he better not never ask it. But he brought the chain to the ringside, threw it into the ring for him. He used it to choke out Moxley, pretty much hang him from the ropes. And now, your new AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page.
It's been a long time since you were able to say those words right there.
2 years.
I'm talking a long time.
It's been 2 years since Hangman. Excuse me. It's been 4 years. It was 2021 when he won the first time. But it's been so yeah. It's been a while since that's happened. Oh, I forgot. The Young Bucks got involved too. The Young Bucks got involved in the match as well, but they wound up getting quelled by Brian Danielson. I still want to say Daniel Bryan. Ryan Danielson and Darby Allin. So yeah. All in all, for 6 hours. Started at 3, ended right at 9 o'clock. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good show. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to listening to Jim Cornette and the Jim Cornette's podcast to see what the numbers were on this pay-per-view and to see what Meltzer is going to say about these matches, since he's such a mark for the AEW. But yeah, I look forward to seeing the fallout from this and what happens with this here.
All right. Well, let's run through Saturday Night Main Event, because we got to get to a couple of highlights with that. But let's run through that really, really quick. Now, I did watch that, so I'll have a little bit more to say on that.
Well, I didn't watch the first hour. Like I said, the pay-per-view went to 9 o'clock, so I didn't watch the first hour. I did see the last 2 matches. So I'll be able to catch up with you from there.
Well, to start things off, they started off hot and heavy. I'm going to tell you that. You had the Viper, Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I sent a message to you and the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez, and I said chills. When Randy Orton came out, the whole arena in Atlanta, Georgia, State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, the whole arena was singing Voices. I was sitting on the edge of the bed, and I was singing Voices. That's where I was at. What's happening, Anthony? How you doing? Glad you could be with us. Glad you're checking in. So him and Drew McIntyre got to going, and I'm not even gonna lie. It was good. I'm gonna tell you what ruined this match. I'm gonna tell you what ruined the majority of the night. The constant damn commercials. Like, God, we couldn't get through one match without a bunch of fucking commercials. Like, come on, man. We don't do this for Raw. We don't do this for SmackDown. But Saturday Night Main Event had more commercials than a little bit. Jeez. And the bad part about it, if you were watching on Netflix, you got the cutaways too. Like, I pay for Netflix. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. My wife pays for Netflix. I don't pay for Netflix. My wife pays for Netflix. I shouldn't have to deal with commercials if I'm on a streaming service. But I digress.
Now my thing, well, not to cut you off, but here's my question to Randy Orton. Now that he's gotten all this play on his song, he came out publicly and said how much he hated this song years ago. He says he's never liked this song at all.
Wow.
I'm wondering how he feels about this song now.
Well, he came out with Jelly Roll, and he was singing it just fine. And then McIntyre came out with one of the Paul brothers. That was Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, yeah.
Yeah, came out with Logan Paul.
You would have had to watch Friday Night SmackDown in order to know where all that came from.
Jelly Roll bent down to check on Orton, and McIntyre came out of nowhere with a Claymore and laid him out. So
I did see that replay. So they did show that. I did see that replay. So yeah. But for those that didn't watch SmackDown, Jelly Roll came out and was singing a song. He came out to sing a song for SmackDown and got interrupted by Logan Paul. And Logan Paul was like, I don't appreciate all you outsiders coming into WWE and thinking you could just take over and be somebody in the WWE. Isn't that ironic?
Mm. You know what I hear when I heard that? You know what I heard? In my best Bianca Belair voice. You don't even go here.
Right. So, he started messing with Jelly Roll and started messing with. So Randy Orton came out and was like, "How dare you come out here and say something like that when you're the one that you're talking about yourself. You're describing yourself. So how you gonna sit here? This man's hometown. This is where this man lives, and you're gonna talk about him like that? No, you can't do that." And so eventually Logan Paul jumps Randy Orton. Jelly Roll is in the corner, like, what should I do? What should I do? Should I get involved? Should I, what? So all of a sudden, he comes over, grabs 2 handfuls of blonde hair, and throws him back into the corner where he just came from. And they wound up going into the back, and it's like, "Yo, man," Randy's like, "Yo, man, I appreciate you looking out for me, having my back." And whatnot. He says, "Yeah. No problem. He can't be doing that to you." He says, "Look, I got a match coming up tomorrow night. I want you in my corner." He was like, "Yeah, I'll be there for you. No problem. No problem at all." So that's how that came. That's how that went down.
I can dig that. Anthony said
And also I forgot the Drew McIntyre situation. Drew McIntyre came out and it was actually Drew McIntyre that came out and Claymore Randy, and then Logan Paul jumped him. My bad.
Yeah. And Logan Paul mounted him and
Claymore came, was like, "I'll see you tomorrow night," and then Logan Paul jumped on top of him and started picking up the crumbs and that type thing. So yeah.
Anthony said hypocrisy at his highest level from Logan.
Oh yeah.
He also said, "I think today's era of wrestling on television is hurting the product because they care more about the product placement than the actual product on the show." I mean, they got to go back. When you showing something like this, you got to do what they used to do on Raw and SmackDown, where you had the picture-in-picture. Play the commercial on the right side, but we're not missing the action on the left side.
Look, man, come on.
I can dig that.
WWE is all about their bag. TKO is about that bag. Okay? TKO is in the red for $3 billion after buying WWE and UFC.
That's pretty deep in the daggone red.
Now, which is why there was such hoopla about whether they were going to go to Saudi Arabia or not, because that was a guaranteed $50 million in the pocket to pull off the show in Saudi Arabia. They ain't gonna give that money up, regardless of what kind of safety situation was going on. They weren't giving that money up. So yeah, they had all this product placement and whatnot. Yeah, they doing it to get their bag.
Of course.
That's why you got everybody they can make any money off of a advertisement involved in WWE right now.
Man,
they're gonna take all that money. It don't even there's who it is.
I'm thinking we should go ahead and put a Sideline Junkies logo on a turnbuckle in a corner or something, because Vince wouldn't have that bull, but
no.
Triple H like gimme. So they went to go promote Evolution 2, which is tomorrow. It's tomorrow at 7 p.m. You had Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Jade Cargill in the crowd. When Jade Cargill got up, she flexed, and out of nowhere, Naomi came and took her down. And then they got going for it, and then she manhandled Naomi. But man, that right there, we hold on. I got to show you where we came from. Let me show you where we came from. This is what we were talking about. This right here. We were talking about this Black Girl Magic, and now you got all three of them on different sides, different triangle here, because you don't know which side Bianca Belair is gonna go on. She's in the middle, but good grief, I think Evolution is gonna be pretty damn good tomorrow because of that. The Nubian Sumo always talks about bathroom breaks. Solo versus Jimmy for the United States Championship. I went to the bathroom, another commercial break, but Solo wins it. Seth Rollins versus L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is where I came in.
Yeah, this was a good match until Seth Rollins, I think, suffered a legit injury in his match.
Yeah,
And he told the ref he couldn't go on, and 10 seconds later they were stopping the match. I think this was a legit injury. But I'm gonna say this: LA Knight is getting shit on yet again because my guy don't never get to get a shine. He don't never get to get a run. Like, they gave him what was that? What they put on him? The United States Championship for a little bit. And I'm like, all right, he get ready to go up to the next level, and he never gets a chance to go to the next level. Like, come on, man. We wasting time right now. You can't have somebody that's so over with the crowd and you don't put the heavyweight championship on. You know? You want to talk about somebody that's gonna beat John Cena. LA Knight need to be that guy. What did you think about this match, Sumo?
I mean, it was a shame that it happened. It went down like it did, and you could tell that it wasn't supposed to be that way because LA Knight didn't sell it like he should have. But I was actually disappointed because I thought the whole night was going to go in a different direction for the next match. But as far as the match itself, I mean, it was looking like it was going to be a pretty good match until Seth got hurt. So I just hope it's not that serious, because what are they going to end up doing with the Money in the Bank briefcase if it is that serious? You know, we just have, like I said, we just have to see.
Right, I agree. Anthony got a question. He said, this is a question. Is there a way that WWE can do a show like that without being in Saudi Arabia and make the same amount of money? They get paid $50 million to be, and that's just on a low end. That's what's reported. They get paid $50 million for Saudi Arabia events. And the one event that they did this year, what were they? A couple years last year and the year before, they were doing 2 to 3 events in Saudi Arabia at one time. So you're talking a couple $100 million, not to mention whatever else is being donated. But I don't think they can do that anywhere else but Saudi Arabia, because that's the only places paying like that.
Well, up until now, that would have been the case. But the way things are looking right now, Las Vegas is going to give them a bag. Because the way from what I've been reading and from things I've been hearing or reading about, Las Vegas is not getting the visitors that they usually get. They don't get the people coming in like they have been. And that's because of all the travel bans, and people are afraid to come into the country now because they don't know if they're going to be able to leave, or even if they're going to be able to leave their country and come into this country. So Las Vegas is losing money left, right, and sideways. So that's why the deal with New Orleans went awry, because Vegas came to them and was like, look, we trying to have a whole bunch more shows with y'all because we know we can make money with y'all. So we want to start with WrestleMania. if we can have more WrestleManias, we'd like to. But but any shows that you want to bring to Las Vegas, bring them on. We're willing to pay. And it's also being said that once the contract for WWE headquarters is done, is expired, they're talking about moving WWE headquarters to Las Vegas.
Wow. Now that right there is WWE has been, even when it was WWWF, it was located on the East Coast. Everything was located in, around the New York, Connecticut area, and then they moved up to Stanford. Not Stanford. Stanford.
Yeah,
Stanford. Yeah, because ESPN, the Titan Tower is in the same city, and now, okay. Anthony said doing a show like Crown Jewel somewhere else instead of Saudi Arabia. Instead of going to Saudi Arabia, but that's their event. That's Saudi Arabia's event.
That's their thing. Yeah, that's their thing. That's something that they put together with WWE. That's their thing. So that would never leave Saudi Arabia.
Anthony said, "Did we watch Great American Bash?" Now we gotta watch it on replay. So if we do the React show for Evolution, we'll probably talk a little Great American Bash. We don't talk it tomorrow. We're definitely talking next week, but we got to do it on a replay because
Anthony, I was not going to sacrifice my AEW pay-per-view to watch Obafemi and that sissified bop he got to wrestle Yoshiki Ishimura. No. That can wait. That can wait till later.
And Anthony said, I think Knight is gonna be one of these guys that is going to end up becoming just a career mid-carder and WWE and eventually becoming a trainer at the PC.
Well, I mean, LA Knight is going on. He's going on 20 years, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's going on 20 years. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that the way they're doing him. So, but I don't feel sorry for him. They did the same thing to Ron Killings.
Yeah.
Did him like that. Hell, you see how they treating the Street Profits.
Yeah. I'm upset about that. And Anthony said, give it to Braun. Braun Breaker's gonna eat.
Which Braun?
Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker?
Or you gonna bring Braun Strowman back?
But Braun Breaker's gonna be your guy. He's your future. I believe that. Anthony said, I think Vegas. I think it would be Vegas. I think they have a permanent premium live event in Vegas, maybe called Revolution. If they smart, WWE always steals. They always steal my ideas anyway. They steal my ideas, Nubian Sumo's ideas, People's Choice Don Rodriguez's ideas. They smart. They'll listen to us and do what we say. He said, "Give the money in the bank to Breaker." You trying to kill Gunther? That is.
Hey, that wouldn't be a bad idea, depending on how hurt Seth is.
Seth knees, man.
Think about it. Nobody has ever given away the briefcase.
No.
You've had people defend. You've had people who've won the briefcase off of a defense, but you've never given away the briefcase. Like, here, you take the briefcase and you do something with it. I can't do anything with it. I'm not going to be around, and I'd rather you have it than just them giving it away or not using it at all. So you take it.
Anthony
That's
said also, go
that'd
ahead.
be interesting.
It's never been done before. Look, oh my God, Sumo, you just did it. You just did it. It's never been done before, but goddamn it, it's gonna be done. Pay the
No, I
man
can't.
shirt.
Hey, I can't take credit. I can't take credit for that one. That's Anthony.
Well,
I just
hey,
agree with him.
Anthony, let me tell you this,
With
Anthony.
him. That's all. That's Anthony's. That's it. That's
On
on
this
Anthony. I ain't gonna take his shine from him.
on this show, the Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs, we've come up with idea after idea after idea that WWE, Ring of Honor, AEW, they've all implemented some part of our idea in somehow, some way. TNA, who am I missing? Anybody, but wrestling has implemented our ideas that we've come out with on this show. I've heard verbatim from bigger wrestling podcasts done by Vince Russo, notably, where on Saturday night we said something, and then he had a show Sunday night. My wife was going through and she heard it. She said, "Didn't you say this last night? Didn't y'all say this?" And verbatim, what was said on this show was said on his show, and they gave him the credit for it. If it happens, Anthony, you can join our class action suit and get our goddamn money from WWE, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, and anybody else that's been stealing our ideas. Because we owed a lot of goddamn money. We owed so much money that we should be able to retire and live comfortably for the rest of our natural born days. Just my opinion. And he said, also what I can see happening is WWE moving their headquarters to Vegas. They'll have a secondary headquarters closer to the East Coast, maybe Dallas, maybe in Dallas. I don't see him leaving the East Coast too tough, but
Hey, you never know. I mean, hell, Vince is still in play.
yeah, he is.
He got this sports marketing thing that he got going on. What is it called? 14th and I.
Yeah, it's something like that. They said he unveiled the logo, but I've been looking for the logo and can't find it.
All it is it's not anything spectacular. It's not anything. But I mean, you probably saw it and didn't even think it was what it was.
Mm.
But you know where they got that name from. I'm surprised you don't know where they got that name from.
It sounds like something from downtown DC.
It is from downtown DC. That's the location where the original Capital Wrestling, the original WWE, Vince Senior's company,
Seriously?
the Capital Wrestling Corporation. That's where that's the location where it used to be, 14th and I, downtown DC.
Wow. Now you got me looking that up. Come on, give me that. Give me that. And what's crazy is most people don't know this, but Shane McMahon is from the DMV proper, because he was born in Gaithersburg. Wow. I got a picture of it too. Capital Arena. Damn. All right, you just hit me to something else. I'm gonna be deep diving. I ain't getting no sleep tonight. I'm gonna be deep diving into that. Anthony said, did they say Seth blew out his Achilles or tore his ACL? No official word yet,
Yeah,
but
I
he was
haven't heard
holding his
anything.
knee.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, but they said it was his knee. So, um, I haven't heard anything about what it was specifically yet. That probably won't come out until sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, probably doing evolution too.
Yeah,
And Anthony said, I don't think TKO is gonna allow Vince to come back after all these issues. He said, nah, he gonna start something his own. If he got enough money saved up, he might buy it back, but because TKO might cut their loss, like, yeah, we losing too much money. And he might be able to buy everybody out.
he just biding his time. He's biding his time. I mean, he tried to buy bare knuckle fighting. I'm surprised he didn't try to go after Power Slap, but that's TKO, I think, because I think Power Slap is partly owned by Dana White. So, but yeah, he tried to buy bare knuckle fighting, and they didn't want to deal with him.
Of
So he's
course.
out there. He's out there. He's making moves. It's just a matter of him biding his time and just waiting.
And
Like
then
you
you got your
TKO
go
probably,
ahead.
like you said, TKO will probably be like, yeah, we this ain't working out like we thought it would. We need to cut up. We
Yep.
need to cut bait, and
Hey,
it's gonna be right there waiting.
you know what this is just a rumor that I heard. Just a rumor. I don't know if there's any truth to it. You know, I'm always Midnight Rider tells me all the time, man, you gotta start following different people, man. You following the wrong people. But no, sometimes I'm following the right people because I've heard my sources say Triple H is on his way out at the end of the year, probably. He's not gonna be running creative. He's not gonna be in the building, no nothing. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be kind of dumb. But then a lot of people are saying, he's not taking the creative role. It's like TKO is kind of handcuffing him because when he was running NXT, you saw what was going on. You saw the rise of the Keith Lees. Now that Shawn Michaels is running it, you see the rise of Lash Legend and what's her boyfriend name? I can see his face, Trick Williams. You see the rise of all these people, and then all of a sudden, the main roster is looking good, but the storylines are getting stale. So I don't know. I don't know. But
You got
quickly,
Triple H got a whole bunch of heat coming up on him anyway because of some racial stuff he got
yeah,
going on. I mean, as far as storyline is concerned, I mean, look what he's doing with the Street Profits. I mean, he catching a lot of heat for that, and
yeah.
and so yeah, I've been hearing things like that too, where he might not be in that position too much longer. So again, that's something we got to look for or look after to see what happens with that.
And last but not least, the show. Let me put it this way: Saturday Night Main Event was put together well. They flubbed the finish because you had Gunther versus Goldberg and Goldberg's final match. I was one did not think that Goldberg was going to win this match. I knew because sitting across from the Nubian Sumo on plenty of these shows, I knew for a fact he was going out on his back. Thank you. He was going out looking at the lights. I knew that for a fact. But this was an up and down. And when Goldberg came out, if you saw, he had his son walking him out, the former head of WCW security walking him out. Um, Classic Goldberg entrance, crowd chanting Goldberg in Atlanta, Georgia, his adopted home. Came out there with the knee brace on. But when he started walking, I was like, oh no. When he opened that door, said, this ain't it. This ain't it. He looked small. He didn't look like that intimidating guy that used to come through those doors. And then they said it. 58 years old. And I told my wife, I said, I'm scared. She said, what you scared of? I said, he's 58. And he didn't look like the Goldberg that you're used to seeing. He's 3 years removed from his last match, which we thought was going to be his last match because we thought the match before that was his last match. But okay, he puts on a pretty good show until Gunther starts going for the knee. With the knee brace, starts attacking the knee, attacking the knee, attacking the knee. And it's just like, oh my God. Okay. We did get a spear. He speared the hell out of little Nate Charles Robinson. He speared the hell out of him. But we got a spear, we got a jackhammer, and to go out, on your back, but you got choked out. in your final match. I don't agree with that ending.
How would you have wanted him to go out?
If he had to go out looking up at the lights, I would have had Gunther do something else to him. You know, he already he went through the barricade where the time announce was. His son jumped in. You know, it was all set up. But any other finisher other than the sleeper,
But
because it
remember,
kind of sort of made him weak. It
Gunther
made him look.
only has two finishers. He's got the sleeper and he's got the power bomb.
I'd have gave him the power bomb.
He wasn't going to take a power bomb. Goldberg wasn't going to take no power bomb. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I guess the sleeper it is.
Because I want you to think about it. I want you to think about this match. How many bumps did Goldberg actually take?
Shit, maybe 4, maybe 5. He had going through the barricade, a couple of shots that he kind of just walked through.
No. You can't. We don't count when. Okay, so wrestlers don't count chops as bumps.
Okay.
When wrestlers talk about bumps, they're talking about impact to the mat.
Well, hell, he had little to none.
Right. Exactly. My point. The only way Gunther was going to take him out was with the sleeper, because the only other option he would have had was the power bomb. He wasn't going to take Goldberg was not going to take a power bomb.
Guess he wouldn't be able to. I mean, he's 58.
Would you want to take a power bomb at 58?
Nah, I only want to take one at 43. So hell no.
Okay. Now, I'm thinking, and I could be wrong, but this is what I wanted to happen. I wanted Goldberg to win so Seth could cash in and take the belt from Goldberg. Now, we don't know if that would have been the case or not because Seth got hurt.
Damn.
But if it had happened, it would have fell in line with everything that's going on. Because think about it. Nobody's cashed in their Money in the Bank briefcase yet. Nobody, at least in the past like 3-4 years, you've had at least one of the Money in the Bank winners who is cashed in within like the first few weeks, if not that night of the night they won it. It's very seldom that you've had both of the Money in the Bank winners hold on to their briefcase for a long period of time.
It was somebody who was that held on to the Money in the Bank for a year. We talked about that. Was that Tony? That wasn't Tony Storm. Not Tony Storm. God, who the fuck was? No, it was a woman that did it. It was one of the ladies that did it.
Oh, was it Tiffany?
It may have been Tiffany Stratton. Held on to it for a year before she cashed in. She cashed in like maybe like a couple weeks before the Money in the Bank. The next year's Money in the Bank.
It could have been Tiffany. It could have been Tiffany. It could have been. No, Bailey's never won it. Becky's never won it. Charlotte's never won it.
Anthony said he think it was Austin Theory on the men's side.
But Austin lost. Well, no, actually, yeah, Austin lost. He lost in his cash in, and it wasn't even for the world title. I believe he cashed in for the United States Championship and wound up still losing.
Poor kid. But I'm gonna tell you, this is where WWE flubbed the finish. Number one, I don't think this is supposed to be the finish. I think it may have supposed to go the way you said it was gonna go. But
Right.
this is where they flubbed the finish. You had Goldberg in the ring. Michael Cole turned the mic over to him. He's talking. They didn't save enough time so you could get all of that. People say it on Netflix, they cut him off. On NBC, they cut him off. So we didn't get to hear what he
Yeah.
had to say.
Because I
That
watched it
right
on
there.
Peacock. I watched it on Peacock.
I'm sorry, yeah, Peacock.
Yeah, I watched it on Peacock. They cut him. The match ended. They went to commercial.
Yep.
They came back with everybody in the ring. He said his piece, and they cut him off in the middle. I'm sure they were telling him, "You need to hurry up. You need to hurry up. You ain't got that long. You need to hurry up." But I'm sure he had more to say after the cameras went off.
I'm positive. And this is one thing, for all his faults as a man. This is one thing that Vince McMahon, as a CEO, as a booker, he always planned minute to minute detail, all the way down to the second of how long a promo is supposed to run, how long a commercial break is supposed to be, everything. And it just seemed like this whole show was littered with so many commercial breaks that you missed action. But then when you miss action, we still miss the end, which this was supposed to be a historic event, but you're doing Goldberg's last match on a Saturday night main event. Yeah, everybody else gets to go out on pay-per-views or PLEs, as they call them. You just took a 28-year career and you condensed it and had him go out on a Saturday night main event.
But then he may show up Monday night though.
Maybe.
They may have him show up Monday night. So we'll see. I doubt they will, but you know, the way they did him at the end, you know, we'll have to see. I don't know.
He gotta have that moment. Anthony said, KG, bro, you're talking about Vince at the height of his power. It's not Vince. We saw the last few years before he got kicked out of WWE. No. Even before he got kicked out of WWE, everything was always planned down to the minute. It's always been like that, always will be like that. Now, as far as character development, yeah, Vince lost his touch. When he took Keith Lee, after Keith Lee won, he had the NXT championship and he won the North American championship on, what was that, Sunday night. He showed up on Raw on Monday night, had shaved off the beard and everything, and they watered him down. Oh, we're gonna call you Bearcat Lee. No, you lost your touch right there. But when it came to planning, Vince was always 100. And he said because of multiple writers and talent complaining that Vince would tear up scripts in the hour before pay-per-view or Raw and SmackDown. Sometimes it comes down to that.
Hour. I've heard wrestlers talk about minutes before they were supposed to walk out the curtain.
Yeah. And
even during the match, he'll relay a change to the referee, and the referee will tell them what they need to change up.
Yep. And Anthony asked the question, do you guys think it was a mistake for TKO to buy both UFC and WWE?
That's not for me to say.
I'm going to say it. I don't think it was a mistake. I just think that when you buy a company that's already successful as UFC and WWE, you kind of, you're going to be the financial backer, cool. But you gotta let, you hire people that are smarter than you. And any company, anytime you are the leader of something and you're above it, you always hire people that are smarter than you. And you go from there. It seems like sometimes TKO is doing a little bit too much with UFC and WWE. And it's too much product placement on WWE's part. And I don't know if that's a TKO thing. I don't know if that's WWE. It's too much product placement. but you're not getting the bang for the buck.
I need to recoup thing. I mean, like I said earlier, they $3 billion in the hole.
That's billion with a B.
Billion with a B. So they just trying to get as much money as they can as fast as they can to recoup. That's all that is. They know WWE is going to make money. They know UFC is going to make money. It's just they're not making enough money to recoup their what they put into buying them yet, and it's going to take time.
Well, if TKO's smart, bring back the WWE Network and charge a subscription fee. I guarantee you'll have everybody running to that daggone network to pay $9.99, $10.99, $12.99, and you show all your pay-per-views that people, just like we were running before, we will run to that again because it's better than showing it on Peacock and Netflix. I'm sorry, I cannot stand watching my PLEs on that.
You're not going to get around the advertisements and the commercials because that's how they make their money. You're just moving it to another streaming site.
Yeah.
That's all. At least the way they have it now, they're making money off of Netflix because Netflix wants them there. So they're going to make money. They're going to get money off of Netflix. They're making money off of the advertisers that come through Netflix because they know people pay to watch Netflix. So it is what it is. You're gonna pay that extra money not to get commercials through your movies. But guess what? You gonna watch you gonna watch Raw. You gotta watch these commercials. Can't get around that. This month you messing with my money now.
Yeah. You know what? That's the don't pay me no mind. That's the wrestling me talking. That's the wrestling fan talking. That's what that is. That's what all of that is. And Anthony said if people are going to bring up the whole MVP thing, that's hypocritical from MVP complaining that Triple H is going to put him in the all black faction, but he's doing the same bull crap in AWE. Well, I mean, the Hurt business that's another fumble with WWE. Hurt business was actually pretty good. Let me rephrase it. It wasn't pretty good. The Hurt business was something special, and they fumbled it. I mean, it may not have been what everybody wanted, but if they would have let them cook, that would have been something special. And they didn't use it correctly. That's my opinion. Anthony said during the match, they said it seems like Goldberg either tweaked or strained a muscle in his knee during the match that was bad enough to work. He couldn't move the right leg. Yeah, he looked like he was really
he came in with that injury because that's the same injury that kept him from doing this same match months ago. He was supposed to have this match in Saudi Arabia. And he got hurt.
The price tag on that.
Yeah. He was supposed to have this match. This match was supposed to be done in Saudi Arabia, and he wound up getting hurt during training. So that's why they didn't do the match.
And we were talking about Austin Theories. He said, no, that's what I'm saying. Austin kept it for a year, but it was unsuccessful. But I think it was Randy or Cena prevented Theory from having a successful cash in.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Randy because it might have been Randy who kept him from. Well, because I think Randy had the United States title at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Whoever had the United States title at that time was who he lost to, because that's who he cashed it in on. It's the only time that the Money in the Bank briefcase was cashed in, and it wasn't cashed in on a world title.
Yeah, that don't happen at all. I ain't gonna say too often. That don't happen at all. And Anthony said the owner of TKO and TK are having the same issues that fans are trying to write wrestling product when they don't have any experience. Well, sometimes the fans have more experience than the writers in the back room. And we proved that over the last 7 years of doing this show. If you remember the lady that WWE hired that had no writing experience in wrestling at all, and they hired her, and she was working for them for a year, and to use a line from The Rock, everything she wrote absolutely sucked until she quit.
Wait a minute, is that the same one? Wait a minute, is that the same one that came out on the podcast that said that she wasn't getting fired?
I believe so.
Or was that a different one?
I think that was the same one.
Black girl, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. I don't even think she worked for a year. She only worked for like a few months. And they came out on a podcast saying, yeah, I got no experience with wrestling at all. I'm a comedy writer. I don't know. I never watched wrestling. That's what she said.
And see, you have people like the gentleman that's sitting across from me right now, like Perry, like the People's Choice Don Rodriguez. You have people that are fans, not just fans of one thing, they're fans of everything, but they also know the business. You also have former wrestlers that know the business. In this age of social media, you can't really keep up with kayfabe too much. Kayfabe is dying off. It's not completely dead. It's on life support though. But the fans sometimes can write a better script than what some of these writers can write. I'm just saying.
It doesn't hurt to listen to your fans anyway. I mean, sometimes you have to go with what the fans say in the direction that they want you to go, because that's where you're getting your money from. Case in point, R-Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H is ready to get rid of him and write him off altogether.
Yep.
But then you had the fans talking about what happened. Where'd he go? Why'd you let him go?
I'll take it back a little further. Remember Cyber Tuesday? Where the fans got to vote on what match happened?
Right.
I think 98% of that.
I think that was a work.
I heard one match was actually a work. I think it was supposed to be Edge winning like a world championship, but he had to. I think something happened. Shawn Michaels was supposed to be in the match too, but Shawn Michaels was hurt, like legitimately hurt, and he was one of the choices, and everybody wanted Shawn Michaels to get in the match, and they was gonna put him over, but he was legitimately hurt, so they had to flub the numbers to make it seem like Shawn Michaels didn't get voted in. But you gotta listen to your fans. I mean, that running the business. What do? You listen to your consumer. A lot of what we do here on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, a lot of what we do here on the Saturday Night Wrestlmainacs, we listen to our consumers, those that consume the show, those that consume the product. You make it go. We listen to you, which is why we most people can't do podcasts and things like that. But when you got somebody talking about something, hey, let's talk about it. Sometimes we stay in a conversation like that because we listen to our consumers.
Anthony, we did a 2-hour show in a long time. We doing a 2-hour show pretty much because of you.
Listening to our consumer. That's what's up. That's what's up. And I tell my brother-in-law this the same thing. I said, when it comes down to certain things that we love and we're passionate about, I told him, I said, if they locked me, you, and maybe 5 of the people in the room and told us, hey, here's every Batman comic, right? No, it wasn't for Batman. It was Batman Beyond. If they told us here's the whole Batman Beyond season and the Batman comics, write me a movie. I told my brother-in-law, I said, in 25 to 30 minutes, we could have a whole storyline because we got everything laying in front of us. All we got to do is put all this stuff together and figure out where we're going to go. I said, me, you, and 5 other people, we got all the dialogue. We got everything set. All we need is somebody to put up the storyboard. That's all we need, because that's something that we're passionate about. That's the beautiful part about it. And Andy said, I believe that's what's going to eventually happen. I think WWE will cancel their TV deals for USA and the CW and put NXT and SmackDown on Netflix on the same days that they're on now. And if they do that, but see, I said that was a problem. When they moved Raw to Netflix, I said that's a problem. Because number one, okay, we're in a day and age now that pretty much everybody has cable. You got to have some type of cable to watch TV. You got to have some sort of streaming service. You got to have something. But you pushing Raw to Netflix, nah, man. Nah, because you cutting out the little man. Everybody don't have a Netflix account. But if they do that, you know how many viewers they're gonna lose. And I think you're right, Anthony. I really do. And he said, I apologize for pushing the show for 2 hours. Man, you ain't don't you worry about
I'm
that.
just messing with you, bro. Yeah.
Man, brother, this is Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs. We'll go 4 hours if need be. And matter of fact, I think we need to do that pretty soon.
The only reason we have shows like we have is because of the person that's not here. He's the one that cut the show short. If it was up to him, our shows would be 5 minutes a night.
Let's get in and get out. Now we actually had a 5-minute show before. I think we got the record for the shortest show. We used to have the record for the longest show, but the Midnight Rider and Jack broke that record. I think they went 3 hours and some change for the draft. So yeah, but man, 2 hours ain't nothing for the WrestleManiacs. We did a 3-hour show before.
We used to do 2 hours on a regular basis.
Man, just straight cutting up.
We were strictly audio, so yeah.
Man, start at 9 and just keep it rolling. And he said, actually, the past few years, people have been canceling their satellite and cable and moving to streaming because cable and satellite have been getting too expensive, man. Yeah, they are. And then you know what the response was when you go to streaming? Streaming used to be affordable. You used to bundle streaming. Man, now a bundle of streaming is costing you just as much. To get all the streaming apps, it's costing you just as much as to be with a cable company.
But see, here's the thing, though. They're not going to put all their eggs in one basket.
You should.
You're gonna have them at least, if nothing else, on CW or the USA or some cable. At one of their shows is going to be on cable. Because look at most of their product. The only show that is really not on cable right now is, two shows. One's on Netflix, Raw is on Netflix, and Evolve is on Tubi. Everything else is on cable. SmackDown, LFG, NXT, all your Total Divas and whatever. Now this Unreal show is going to be on Netflix, but that was a show that they put together with their contract, and I don't know how that's going to go because that might end up going too deep into what's going into stuff we shouldn't be knowing about. Not everybody wants to know how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Look, it's certain things you just don't want to know.
Right.
And he said also for WWE, I think they're going to do is have their major pay-per-view streaming live through maybe Amazon, Apple, and Netflix, and making multiple revenue streams by doing that. For the love of everything that's good and holy, I hope they do not go through Amazon TV for anything.
Well, they won't go through Amazon because AEW has Amazon.
And Amazon TV, anything that you view outside of a movie on Amazon Prime, any live action you view on Amazon Prime has to be the nastiest, dirtiest, uncouth, gutter butt picture I've ever seen in my daggone life. I hate watching Thursday night games on Amazon. If a Thursday night game's on Amazon, I'm not watching it. Only way that I'm going to try to watch it or attempt to watch it on Amazon is if it's the Commanders. That's it. Anybody else, I'm not watching because it buffers, it's pixelated, and I thought I was the only one. I thought something was wrong with the internet, but then I'm finding out from other people, yeah, man, it's terrible, it's bad. I hope they don't do anything with Amazon. Now, Apple and Netflix, I can dig that. Hell, they got to deal with Peacock. And the thing with Peacock has all the stuff from the vault, but they got so much censored stuff in there. The stuff from the Attitude Era, you can't even watch most of that. Ain't nothing on there that involves Chris Benoit. They said it was the Radicals that came out. They had superimposed was it Terry? I think it was Terry Reynolds. They superimposed her where Chris Benoit was. And I'm like, she wasn't even running with the. What are you doing? And they was like, yeah, they changing everything. Yeah. Anything that has to deal with Chris Benoit.
Everything, you know, Chris Benoit. They've eliminated Chris Benoit from the history of WWE. Yep.
One day I hope the truth comes out. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Nobody.
Who's left to tell it? Nobody left. Anybody else that will be able to say anything about that will be hearsay, except there's probably one other person, and that would be Nancy's sister.
Yeah.
If she said it by now, she ain't gonna say it.
Not at all. And Angie said, what's weird is you're the first person to say that. A lot of people say that the production value on Amazon Prime for Thursday Night Football is actually top tier. Man, I don't know what they got, but everybody I know, like everybody in my area, they say, man, it's hard watching a Thursday night game on Amazon Prime. But you watch a movie on Amazon Prime, crystal clear. But it's anytime you gotta watch live TV. It's like it's a lag, it's behind. You 2 plays behind the a live feed, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta find someplace else. You got to find someplace else to do it. And he said, question for both of you: how does it make you feel that Dusty Rhodes, the sons of Dustin, are wrestling now? I'm still young and frisky, so I'm okay.
Well, those aren't his sons; those are his nephews. We talked about that earlier in the show. So those are his nephews, his sister. Those are his sister's sons. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm fine.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with it. You know, it's all good. You know. Now, what gets me is which a lot of my friends are talking about now is, you know, I got young cats coming up to me talking about what's going on with your unc? What's up, OG?
Man.
I'm like, OG, who you talking to? Oh, well, I guess I am OG, huh?
Little young dudes I used to work with used to do that to me. Come on, OG, don't be like that. Hey, man, don't call me OG. I'll chop you on the throat, man. Don't do that. I'm only, and most of them that say that, I'm like, dog, I'm like 4 years older than you. What are you talking about? So
folks calling me Mister. I'm like, don't be calling me Mister.
Basically,
Mister is back home. Back home. That's my father. Don't be calling me. Don't call me Mister.
We've had an eventful Saturday into Sunday because we are 39 minutes into Sunday on the East Coast. Happy Sunday to you all. Recap of All In pay-per-view, Saturday night's main event. We got Evolution coming up in 19 hours, a little less than 19 hours, 18 hours and 20 minutes if you want to be specific. 7 p.m. on Sunday night. And I believe that is on Peacock as well.
Yeah, that'll be on Peacock.
Get with I would have to get with the People's Choice Don Rodriguez, see if he want to do a react show if he got time. But depending on when it ends up, You may see the Wrestlmaniacs back in some form or fashion on Sunday night, but start your Sunday morning off right in about 11 miles and 20 minutes, 11 a.m. Started off with myself, the Gentleman Jack, the Midnight Rider, Sunday Rise. We're going to be talking, we got our list to do. We got our list of 5 players that you thought was absolutely beast coming out of college, but did not pan out in the pros. We doing our home run derby draft, and we got a few other little things. We got to update you on Wimbledon and everything. So we got some things to update you on, and on the Sunday Rise at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. And Anthony says, have you guys been able to rewatch any of the old reruns on Peacock for World Class Championship Wrestling? I think I caught 1 or 2. I haven't really dived into it yet because I gotta actually sit still to watch TV. So
no, I haven't made an effort to go back to it because I actually watched it when it came out. So I mean, but when it first aired, but I mean, if I were to do that, I would probably go back to watch Iceman King Parsons and his run leading up to his win against Kerry Von Erich for the World Heavyweight Championship, and to see and to follow him becoming a member of the Freebirds. So yeah,
that's history right there.
yeah. And by the way, for those who don't know, Iceman King Parsons won the World Class World Heavyweight Championship 2 years before Ron Simmons won his.
So he would be your first black world champion.
At that time, he would have been. But since then, the NWA has recognized Bobo Brazil beating Nature Boy Buddy Rogers back in 1962 for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So it would actually be Bobo Brazil being the first black world heavyweight champion.
Always thought. Always thought. Well, we gotta get out this thing because we gotta go to bed. Or I need a bowl of cereal before I go to bed. I'm sorry. I really need a bowl of cereal in my life. So I ain't
What,
gonna lie
Hot
about
Pockets
that.
tonight?
No Hot Pocket. I'm feeling real
Hey, did you see
cereal-ish
that
tonight.
video? Did you see that video? Somebody on YouTube was decided he was gonna deep fry a hot pocket.
No. How would you deep
Yeah,
fry a Hot Pocket?
he took a hot pocket, put it in some peanut oil, and fried that thing up. He said it tasted better. He said it was the inside of it because he used the pepperoni joint. He said the pepperoni tasted better, the cheese melted better, and it was almost like a one of them old school McDonald's apple pies back in the day.
Okay, now I might have to try that.
and just so to keep consistency, he used peanut oil.
Peanut, yeah, I like peanut oil. I love how peanut oil, when you fry anything in peanut oil, especially chicken, and peanut oil is just absolutely great. It's wonderful. I'm not even gonna lie, it is wonderful.
So give you an experiment for the week.
Yeah. So now I'm go grab me a little thing of peanut oil. But I gotta go to 7-Eleven and get that jumbo hot pocket. It's like 2 hot pockets in one. That long joint. Get that right there. That, man, 2 of those right there for breakfast. Man, I'm go to work with that. Go to work with 2 hot pockets like that from 7-Eleven. I'm telling you, whatever your job is, you're gonna do it at your fullest potential because you got a hot pocket in you. And don't let it be cold outside and you do that. Man, think like, what's wrong with you?
The only thing I'm getting from 7-Eleven is the apple fritters. And I don't need those. Them things is banging. About 10, 20 seconds in the air fryer.
See, before they started doing the open air thing, it was always taquitos or a quarter pound big bite. But now they got the open air thing where the workers don't give you the stuff. You can get it yourself. I don't want it now because everybody done breathed on it and everything. I don't want that now. Now, if I was there when they put out some fresh taquitos and ain't nobody been in the store and I'm waiting for them joints to get done, that's one thing. Or I'll ask for something fresh or something like that. But now when you can reach don't, nope. I don't know, y'all. But let's get on up out of here. That's the Nubian Sumo. I'm the big guy, KG. Thank y'all for coming to our TED Talk about wrestling. I will see you guys in a couple of hours. If Sumo's free, hopefully he can be back for Evolution. Because we got a score to settle. Naomi versus Jade Cargill is going to be your match of the night. Book it tonight. Well, this morning, book it. Trust me, that's going to be your match of the night. But I think we gotta. I gotta fill in the roles. Let me get it right. Remember to diversify your bonds.
Konnichiwa, bitches.